All right, today we're going to dive deep into the Hive and actually go through the process of how to go live in the Hive, because there are some very specific elements that can result in it working or not working. So I'm going to really highlight those for you. First of all, why do you even want to do this? The bottom line is you can be the first to invite your social media group members, and this is the most powerful monetized group platform in the world. There are very little social media platforms out there that are compensating you for really spending your time on the platform and for sharing and bringing together a community like you are. And why do you want to move to this platform? The bottom line is members are invited. It makes it spam free. You can't just join the platform. You must have been invited by somebody else and you must come through their link. It's troll free because you have to be a member to chat, okay? Which means you have to have your kind of a full connection generator profile. Now, there are members that, of course, can join for free, and they can attend any of the shows that are on the network, and that's a fantastic thing. They can learn, they can really kind of enjoy the community and take advantage of all that is there. But they can't chat, and that prevents people coming on and hijacking the conversation and from being able to communicate and possibly, disrupt the flow of your show. And it's positioning you as an expert on a social media platform that is relatively new. So if you think about the early days of Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, this is where you are on this platform. You can be somebody that is new, heavily featured and profiled. And then, of course, as the network explodes, you will have already been positioned and become a part of the fabric of the network. So there are 4 key steps to go live in the Hive. You create your event in Zoom, you create your event in BeeKonnected, then you promote your event, and then you go live in the Hive. So we're going to take a look at each of those. So create your event in Zoom. There's 5 key areas of setup in Zoom that are important for you to understand. The first, of course, is the webinar and meeting ID. All right, you're going to need to have that because you need to transfer all of this information once you've set up your Zoom show into BeeKonnected. All right, the second is the webinar meeting registration link. We're all used to seeing these things and knowing about them and promoting them, but in this situation, you're going to have that second step of setting up in BeeKonnected. The third is the password. It requires a password in order to work. So this may be a change for you. So make it something super simple, something that you can incorporate as part of your branding, and just make sure that every time you set up a meeting or a webinar to be broadcast in BeeKonnected, you click on the webinar password. The next is the time zone. So you're used to your time zone. You set it up. Let's say I set it up here as a Pacific time zone. When you get to the BeeKonnected platform, it is central. So you're going to have to do some math possibly in order to ensure that you are setting up your show correctly. And then the registration here. So if you're like me, and I'm going to encourage you highly to do this, and that is to say that you want registration for the show to occur. And so it doesn't mean people can't just, at the last minute click and join, but it means that you're going to end up with a very valuable list of people who were interested in your show. Now, here's the catch or the change is you're used to setting this up in Zoom. Registration, yes, I want that to be required, and you click this. When you're working on the BeeKonnected platform, You will leave this blank and you will actually set up registration on the BeeKonnected platform. And I'll show you this. So here is your checklist to prepare to set up for a BeeKonnected event. You need your webinar and meeting ID. And the important part about that is you need to remove the spaces when you paste it into the BeeKonnected event. The next is your webinar meeting registration link. The next is your password. You want to remember that when you get on the BeeKonnected, you want to convert to the Central Time Zone, and registration, you're going to leave blank in Zoom, and you're going to set this up in BeeKonnected. And now I'm going to show you where all of these go, because the next step is to create your event in BeeKonnected. Alrighty, so you'll go to your navigation bar, you'll see up here events, you know we're in beta still. And you can see it talks about the fact that everything's in Central Time Zone, and all you need to do is click Create Event. Now, the event title, super simple, whatever you're used to calling it. So let's say I'm calling this Reach Millions TV. The next is your group. So this is the group that you're connecting this event to. So I run 2 groups on the BeeKonnected platform. Whatever you do, just select one of these, and that's where you'll really talk about it or promote it. The next is the category, so you can select one of these. It's really for search engine optimization and for somebody when they're searching, hey, I'd like to really know about leadership and management. If that's what your main topic of this event is, then put it under there. It's not what your global group is, it's what your event is about. So sometimes you might be under speaking social media marketing, sometimes you might be talking about coaching and mentoring, and sometimes you might be entrepreneurship and business development. So select whatever this specific show is about. Then there it is. It's going to ask for the date of the event. You put that here. And the key, of course, is this time zone. You need to convert to Central. So for example, if I was broadcasting a show at 2 o'clock Pacific, I'd have to know that that is 4 p.m. Central. So I'd want to make sure that I put that down. I mention this because I have committed all of the errors possible and now really have it down to this simple art form. Now, you'll notice there it had an image. So if you have a group that has an image and you do not put an image in your event, then it will grab the image from your group. If you want to create a specific image for your event, you want to change it up, or you just want to show event, then you can create one of these. I recommend you going around 500 by 500. You can use a tool called Canva, which allows you to do this. Only in this situation, I'm going to show you a little cheat here that I use. Now, what I do is I go up into I'm in Keynote, so whatever your PowerPoint equivalent is. So I will go to Insert, and I actually go to Image Gallery. All right. Now, what I do here is I will have gone to Story Blocks or Pexels, wherever you get your image, and I will have taken an image, and all I do is paste it in here, and then it gets me the size that I'm looking for. Then you want to set up your font and whatever the name of your show is, and then you can just copy that in here as well. Okay. So there's kind of how it looks. And then my cheat, I've talked about this all the time, is I just do a screen capture of this particular icon or this particular image, and then it goes to my dashboard. I grab it, and then I'll load it in. So that's an actual live creation of creating a graphic for your show. Now, I had pre-grabbed this, so, just to make it fast and simple, but that's all I do to create something. Now, you can also go to Fiverr. You can, take your time and have something professionally done. It's just I find with myself, I'm constantly doing stuff quickly. Well, I can't wait for a Fiverr guy to turn around a graphic for me. For your entire show graphic, you may want to get that professionally done. But sometimes when I'm doing quick stuff, that's what I do. Alrighty, now the next thing you'll want to do is create a Zoom background. So you'll notice here, all I did was box out this area. That's approximately a Zoom screen. And then I pulled that image. In my case, this is, again, you can tell I hand created this. Yes, it's not spectacular, but it's enough to get me going right now. And then you just push it into the corner, because when you're standing here on your Zoom, you want your logo to show. And so that's what it kind of looks like. Setting it up. And again, I do a screen capture for the Mac. It's Command-Shift-4. Find out what your PowerPoint or what your Windows equivalent is. And I highlight this area right here and I do a screenshot. And then I load it into Zoom, and voila, I have this incredibly professional looking show in minutes. Okay. So now we're into the guts of the setup for your event in BK. And the next thing you got to do is get that webinar and meeting ID. You'll remember we grabbed that, right? And you just need to remove the spaces. When you paste this direct from your Zoom, it will have gaps. You want to make sure you remove those. The second thing, you want to grab that webinar or meeting registration and just plunk it in right into this field here. The other important field here is status, and you want to change that from pending to published, which means everybody can see and start to register for the event. Now, the rest of the fields are pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go into detail. These are things you can modify after. And really start to tailor your show. What I'm showing you here are places that can trip you up, all right? Next is the all-important password. So you can see it was asking for it there, and you enter it here, okay? So remember, in my case, I set up the word go big, and you'll just make sure it's there. It's because we're marrying, you know, the Zoom to the BeeKonnected background, and we're loading it there, so we need it to perfectly match. And then the registration, remember I talked about this, you want to set this to yes, okay, but you want to leave it to no in Zoom. So you set this to yes in BeeKonnected, and the reason is, you want to know what those who attended or who registered for your events, because you can export them later and really start to get a feel for who is watching your show. And especially on the BeeKonnected platform, you can then go into the connection generator and you can start to request a connection to anyone that you're not connected to, knowing that they're already kind of have a predisposition to what it is that you're talking about. Next is the promotion of the event. So here you want to, after you've created your event, go here and check out live events. You'll see you have your event access link. You simply go here and copy it, and then you can share it in an email or share it wherever you like. You can also make life super simple, and you can start to share it on these various social media platforms. Now, here is where I'll call it the money is, all right? Here is where the huge power lies in the platform, and that is when you invite your current other platform group members to this group, which means you're almost migrating them from one place to another. And why is this so key? Is because when they move over, before they can join your group, they have to create a membership. Now, that applies to every platform. If you've gone to Facebook, LinkedIn, you can't do anything unless you sign up, right? Well, that's what this causes it to do as well. Now, at that moment, that person is connected to you. So in the future, if they upgrade to a paid membership, that money is yours. So that's the fabulous part are really about starting to position yourself on this platform. And you'll notice I just do something simple. Hey, you're invited to my new insiders group exclusively on BeeKonnected, where I will show you how to reach millions with your message. And then I've created a small bit.ly link that sends them to my group. And then what's great is once you've created your show, we feature and promote you. And this is where I'm talking about massive power. Every single member that goes into their BeeKonnected dashboard is going to see your show listed here, which means if they're interested at all in something that you do, they're like, oh my goodness, this looks interesting. They're going to click and they're going to register for your show. Huge power in that moment. Then last thing is to go live in the hive. I've got great news for you here. It is super simple. When it's your time to broadcast the show, I would recommend 5-10 minutes early, give people time to on-ramp, is you simply go into the event and click go live. It takes you directly at that moment into what you're used to seeing, your Zoom background, and then you can chat like you normally do right there. Everything is the same that you're used to. It's just that you're broadcasting from the BeeKonnected platform. And that's what it looks like. See, there's that little Zoom background that I created. I pushed it to the side so that when I'm on, I'm kind of front and center while my show is being promoted. So there you have it. Now, who gets to broadcast a show? Again, that is Bee Associates, Bee Pro Plus, and affiliates only. So if you're thinking, I would love to take advantage of getting on, especially at this early stage, for going live in the hive, then you should go in your back office, click on the Me tab, and take a look at upgrading to a higher level membership. It makes it nice and simple for you to jump onto the platform, be an early adopter, start to get featured and profiled, and get paid. So it's absolutely spectacular and remarkable. So that's it, going beta live in the hive, where you're going to be seen, be found, and be heard. And I look forward to watching your show that is live in the hive and seeing you on mine. And bye for now.